but I think he was too good looking.
Whoa, is that what you think?
Look at the fucking guy, dude. He's not going through school. No girls. Right,
Dom and his,
get it out. Get it out.
Dom and his white guys. Comment section. Hit it up. Dom and his white guys. That's it. You're listening to the Double D's podcast.
I'm Dom.
I'm D.respect.
You got a great set of tits.
I get so angry thinking about this kid.
Because that's what most people are bitching about.
I'm from New York. You know what I mean? We like clean out here. You know?
You gotta stop looking at interacting with people online as a cheap date. My father used to drink.
Get the fuck away from me. I'm done.
I come a lot, by the way.
You're doing the rap stuff.
If you didn't say it, somebody in the comment section would have said it.
It's like how you feel when you're having a paranoid high.
That's a dynamic connection right there. Why are you breathing so hard?
It's dark out here in the cosmos, and I'm stuck in a shuttle with Anne Hathaway and some black guy, and we're flying through space, and space is timeless. You see, pass me that beer, would you?
Okay, go right ahead.
Timeless as time itself, you know. And I'm floating through the galaxy.
Are you gonna ask me for money after this?
Yeah. Have you seen the Interstellar trailer?
No. But, you know, mind your fucking manners before we start the podcast. We have to let these folks know that this episode of the Double D's podcast is brought to you by An Intimate Evening with Anthony Fantano.
What's an intimate evening with Anthony Fantano?
Well, would you like to meet the internet's busiest music nerd, sir?
No, I'm good.
Well, okay. Well, you had your chance. October 9th, which falls on this Thursday, just a couple days away. If you happen to be in the New York City area, if you happen to be in Brooklyn, if you happen to be a fan of music reviews, come down and check it all out at Littlefield. Doors open at 7 o'clock. You have the opportunity of meeting Anthony Fantano. You have the opportunity of meeting D.respect. You have the opportunity of meeting Dominic Robron. So come on down to Littlefield. Intimate Evening with Anthony Fantano. This is the last time we're going to let you guys know to show up. All right?
Please come out, guys. I'll be nice.
Link in the description below. All the tickets. I believe the tickets are about $14. Come on. What could you buy before? What do you waste your money on that adds up to $14 every day?
That's about 4 comic books, 4 good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's probably 3 comic books. 3 really good comic books will get you $14. Easily a meal for a lunch if you go out to a good place, like I mean, not even a good place, just get you a little burrito.
That's a good dinner at a Thai restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not, dude. Around here, you're spending like $18 for a fucking pad Thai, dude.
Really?
Yeah. It sucks.
Oh, well, that's your fault, buddy. I won't ask you to live in that high-priced neighborhood. Why
listening to Double D's, everybody?
Well, why are you moving in there, huh? Why are you moving in there if everything's
You're listening to Double D's.
Okay, you're listening to Double D's. Okay, yeah, you are.
I'm D.respect.
I'm Dom. And yeah, you know what I was thinking about the other day?
I knew you were gonna.
I was thinking about. I was on the train and I was looking at this lady, and she was looking at me, and I was like, "Holy fuck, she's had a dick in her mouth." I mean, she's gonna have a dick in her mouth at some point of the night, and it's just crazy because she smiles at me with the very same mouth that she's going to suck with. That's what you sound like. Now, what do I sound like?
I knew you were doing an impression. I gotta think. I mean, it's not a big deal. She has a dick in her mouth. You know, I mean, it's okay if a girl has a dick in her mouth. It's whatever. I don't really give a fuck. Like, why would you dwell on something like that? It's not a big deal.
What I'm trying to say is that if the dick is in her mouth, it's. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this impersonation. Actually, I have no clue. It was just to get to the point where I could just make this observation, odd observation.
I'm easier to imitate than you are.
Why is that?
I have too many tells. I think I'm more scatterbrained. Maybe that's it.
You couldn't possibly be more scatterbrained than I am because I'm so scatterbrained. Sometimes I can't even conjure up a thought like that and put it all together.
You just did it though.
I did it because I was channeling you. Did you ever think of that? Did you? No, you didn't think of that, did you?
I think I have a lot more catchphrases like I was thinking about and I don't know, man. And
Yes, absolutely.
like, do you ever wonder that sort of thing? Like, what do you think?
My catchphrases are and
I do ums and uhs all the time. I do that shit. I'm trying to cut down on likes. Likes, like like
the word you just finished saying right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So speaking of, I think you were asking me about God damn it, you were saying something about living in DC. But the thing is, my roommate's watching Gotham right now, and I've had a bunch of people say, Hey Dom, why don't you watch Gotham? Why don't you watch Gotham, man? Shit's good. I look at him and I say, No, I will not.
You refuse to watch this show? Why?
Yes, I refuse, because you know why? Every week, I don't want to see a scene where it's like, some guy walks up to Jim Gordon and he's like, making jokes, and Jim Gordon's like, Hey, listen, pal, you're a real joker, aren't you? And the next week,
wait. Explain to me the premise of all this, because
it's all foreshadowing. There. The whole fucking thing is foreshadowing. They're gonna cram it in as many Batman references as possible.
Does this have anything to do with Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, it's Gotham City, dude.
No, is he in it?
Yes, he's in it.
He's in it. Okay.
Kid. His parents just got popped.
Oh, he's a kid. Okay.
Yeah, his parents just got killed. He's like, one day I'll grow up. So
said the 6-year-old.
Yeah, he's like, life is tough. I don't know.
Said James Earl Jones when he was born.
Yeah. So you're following Jim Gordon and some other fellas, and they're cramming in as much foreshadowing as possible. People breaking out in and out of Arkham or whatever. But it's gonna be the same shit every week. It's gonna be some foreshadowing shit like, oh hey Bruce, you really like black, don't you? Or something, or he picks out a Halloween costume, and of course he picks out the one that looks like a knight, but he's like, I wish this was black, and he like looks at the camera. Every fucking week is gonna be that.
Okay, well, yeah,
corny, just like Smallville, and Flash, which is a CW show. What's up with these dumb CW
no interest
shows?
Whatsoever in watching that. Yeah, I sort of
Fast
vomited.
Guy.
Yeah, when I saw that. What interest would there be in watching The Flash? He's fast.
My interest in The Flash would be watching him every week trying to have a relationship with a girl, but he comes just before he even touches her, and he can't keep his dick up.
We would all be The Flash.
Like his hand is trying to beat off. It's like giving himself a rug burn. His dick is just like a red piece of meat.
One thing that you're going to see is you're going to see this scene where one guy is competing with him in whatever sport, and he's going to be like,
but pre fast stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be like, yeah, man, you can't run faster than me, and the guy outruns him, and then he vows to one day be better than him, and then when he gets his power or whatever the fuck, he walks into the situation very confidently, and then whatever, it's like the tortoise and the hare, and he beats the guy. You know that's going to play out. Stupid, goofy shit is going to fucking play out. Is he a teenager?
He's like in his early 20s.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, so he's still in high school, probably.
I think he's
That'd be hilarious.
Late high school, early college. Ugh.
Okay.
It's always the same Spider-Man, like, what a nerd Parker is. You push him into a locker. Whoa. Because that's the only way you can communicate in a short amount of time that a person is a loser. It's kind of... It's lazy writing, however... They have a limited amount of time. So I understand that as well. You have, in a movie, you have 2 hours max, especially in a big budget superhero movie. You have 2 hours max, hour and 45 minutes. You can't spend too much time in the origin story. So you're like, okay, present to the viewer that he's a nerd. He doesn't get women. He's not a ladies' man, all that other stuff. He's a nerd. So they do the tropes, traditional tropes of like, he gets a swirly, dude puts him in the locker, he comes back later, puts that dude in the locker or something.
Which is also a part of the whole athletic scene that I was referring to, probably.
Right.
Yeah, that all falls into it somehow.
But it's kind of lazy because life isn't. It's way more subtle, isn't it? You don't. It's not like you just present, oh, this dude got bullied once, and then all of a sudden I know everything about him. But that's what they're forcing you to do in these movies. Oftentimes, you'll notice this when you watch a film. When a movie just starts, in the first few shots you see of a character, they'll try and do something like you see a guy walk by and a kid drops his little doll, and the main character's holding a bag of groceries, but he bends down and picks it up. He's like, "Oh, here you go." So in your mind, you click, and you're like, "Oh, good guy. He's nice.
Right.
He always cleans up after people. He likes kids." So automatically you just latch onto them. Especially if it's a guy like Ben Affleck, you're like, he's going to be the good guy. But
the look of the character too, I think, plays a part in that. I think that tells a story more than anything, and I think that cuts the time short that's needed to convey that this person is a dork. Because I mean, when you look at somebody like what's the guy's name that played the Batman that when it was successful?
Christian Bale.
No, sorry, not Batman. Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire.
Right, with Tobey Maguire, this unassuming. This guy, you didn't have to show us much. I mean, we could just by looking at him, we could just tell that he was like this defeated person. But
I didn't buy it from Andrew Garfield though. He was too.
I never saw any of those.
Amazing 1 was decent. Amazing 2, I hear it was good. Mm-hmm. But I think he was too good looking.
Whoa, is that what you think?
Look at the fucking guy, dude. He's not going through school. No girls. Right, go ahead. Go, get it out. Get it out.
Dom and his white guys. Comment section. Hit it up. Dom and his white guys. That's it.
All right. You started a fucking beast.
Okay, you think he was too good? Okay, look. In all
compare him to
seriousness,
Compare him to Tobey Maguire. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Okay. I don't really know what this kid looks like, and this is the guy from The Social Network, right?
Yeah, he played the
most average Joe looking guys to me. The only thing where I could agree with you, where someone was his looks were distracting to me, was the Man of Steel. I think even
Clark Kent is supposed to be
but even for Superman standards, his fucking bone structure was just a little too fucking perfect.
He looks like he came out of a fucking magazine.
Yeah.
How do these people exist?
I mean, because you had Christopher Reeves. Okay, Christopher Reeves, he was just I guess you would consider just a classically handsome man.
Yeah, but he looked somehow more real and accessible.
But that's what I mean. He's just and they made this Man of Steel character to not only be a handsome man, but he's got a fucking godlike physique. Now, Superman's before that were just very lean and they had muscle on him. This guy was like the fucking Rock. Did you see this guy without a shirt?
Oh no! This dude was when he's
it was ridiculous.
He's
so
saving
over the
people
top.
from some burning bridge. You know what that shit is for? It's for girls, and it's for guys like me to feel horrible about myself. I'm like, fucking put your shirt back on, you piece of shit, making me look awful.
Right. It's like the overly sexualization of
it's
Superman.
Like I get it. I fucking get it. You look great. You can get everybody the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, he was. It was definitely over the top, and that movie just, by the way, he probably spent more time trying to work out as opposed to his fucking acting. That shit was just...
His acting didn't resonate with me, but then again, it's Superman. No Superman performance has ever really swept me off my feet.
And it's never going to be
that's
that
supposed
way.
to.
No, that's... I don't think that's true. I've read Superman stories where I was like, okay, not only is he omnipotent and omniscient, all that stuff, but I am interested in reading this character. One, for you nerds out there, if you read All-Star Superman, that Grant Morrison book was basically, I think that was the best Superman story I read, because what he did with the character was like, I know he's too powerful. I know you fucking hate how good looking he is. I know he's like 3 times larger than you, all that shit. He gets women. So he took that and just went with it like 20 times more. This dude is pushing planets. He's like going back in time. He's like looking through his hand and like examining his DNA molecules and all that stuff. It's like it took it to a level where it's like, you know what? I'm not even going to be able to relate to you at all. I think
this was the guy who wrote this one.
No. I'm saying it's a comic book.
Gosh,
All-Star
Superman.
Superman.
What did you just do? You just went over
Sorry.
my head with all this fucking shit.
It's a cartoon as well. You can watch that.
God damn it. Yeah. I'm sure it is. I'm sure I can watch it, but I will not.
There's one good scene. It's kind of corny, but like there's this goth chick standing on a building, and like this thing always gets reblogged everywhere. It's a pretty good scene where like this girl's about to jump off a building, and he just out of nowhere, and he's just standing next to her, and he doesn't like catch her from falling or anything. He just has like a conversation with her about why life is worth living and all that. But now that I'm thinking about it, what could fucking Superman tell you about why life is worth living? Like, what has he ever felt depressed about? Sometimes
when Christopher Reeves lost his power, when he gave his power to General Zod.
I thought you were going to say when he hit a tree, he could tell you about depression. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, when he gave his power to General Zod, he was a normal person for like 5 minutes, so maybe within that window of time, he could tell you something.
My dick won't get hard.
Yeah. So what did he tell her? What words of encouragement did he tell her?
Let me look this shit up. All I remember.
Oh God, you don't have to do it.
All right.
No,
Hold on.
no.
I'm logging into the database.
Actual sound of his keyboard.
He said something like, this is kind of corny now that I'm repeating it. It's like, you're stronger than you think you are, that sort of thing. He's like, you think what you're going through now is like insurmountable, but I mean, you're basically capable of much more. That's kind of what he was telling her. That was a really good sort of human scene. I don't know. There was another good Superman book I read where. Are you? Is the snoring coming?
The snoring is internal.
I caught you before. I'll do it for you.
Well, you know what? For you to manifest that thought, that would have to imply that somewhere in your head you're boring yourself.
That's not it. I could talk about this shit all day.
No.
Listen. This is what I do. I back out of conversations because I'm constantly assuming that people are not going to be interested.
Listen. All right, this podcast, the people who listen to this podcast, they are dorks. They are, but only for a certain amount of time can they take the fucking
here's the thing.
Pounding
I understand
of the comic
that.
books.
I thought I could just jam in.
Hey, look, nobody asked you
seconds.
to stop, sir. No one asked you to stop. You can.
I
Continue.
know, but I'm saying I was going to get 30 more seconds in.
No. I was gonna give you some time. I was gonna give you some leeway before I gave you the old snore, but you ignore it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I do, but it's
you just keep going.
But then I end up stopping like 10 seconds after that.
Oh. Are we podcasting?
Okay.
What are we doing right now?
Another good Superman story I read was called I think it was called like what's so wrong about the truth, justice, and the American way, something like that. Mm-hmm. They also made Anyway, basic premise, you get this group of superheroes who are like Punisher. They're like, we don't give a fuck. You see a bad guy, we're going to kill them. No going to Arkham Asylum. No sending them to prison. These guys, we judge them, immediately execute them. So at first they seem cool. They're taking care of business. Eventually they start getting power hungry. Superman comes in to deal with them, and they're whooping his ass. He's trying to fight them. But there's this psychological thing going on too where he's like, how could you go around killing people? And they talk to him like, you let people get away with this shit all the time. And he has a few conversations with them that are pretty interesting about why he doesn't kill people and like how we have to be better, all that stuff.
But he didn't convince a Punisher to stop killing people.
Different universe.
No, but, what does that mean?
Punisher's in a different universe. I mean, it was a different group of superheroes in the DC universe.
Oh, wait. I thought you meant that he spoke to Punisher.
No, they're super Punisher-like super beings. Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Okay. But did he convince them? Did he reform them?
No, he beat the shit out of them. they did sort of figure it out.
Is there any superhero out there that's Gandhi-like and believes in just passive resistance?
You know, I want to say Xavier, but no. Like he's totally for whooping ass. I mean, not himself, but
it's like he gives you the worst kind of punishment. Well, he's capable of giving you the worst.
Yeah,
kind
but
of
he
punishment.
doesn't do it. But he doesn't for some reason, which is kind of ridiculous, right? If you have that ability, who on this planet is capable? I think I'm a good person right now, and you listeners, you might think I'm a good guy, and I am. Like, I've never committed any crimes. I wouldn't ever hurt anybody.
He's not.
I'm considerate, all that shit.
He's not.
I wash my penis every night.
He doesn't.
But like, if I had like Gaddafi,
I checked. Good.
Okay. If I had Gaddafi like powers, if D.Respect had Gaddafi like powers or something, you became a dictator, you know you wouldn't be the same person, right?
Of course I wouldn't.
You think you could really be good?
The desire that I would have to be that person, that would make me the different person. You mean if I just became that person in the future, if I became like Gaddafi?
Oh, I see what you. Well, I'm saying if you were given that sort of power, if you were given.
The thing is I'm a strong believer in that. I mean, people found out because of the things that I said, you know, in that Adrian Peterson video that I did, and people disagreed with me. I'm a strong believer in that, and I think you are too. Is basically your biggest strength can perhaps be your largest weakness. It comes from the source. You know, it comes from the same source.
Oh, I see what you're.
Yeah. So
it's like all that well of drive that you get.
Right, is where you get that ability to just fucking zone out and you can black out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I suppose if I'd be a different person if I had all that power. But what's that quote? Man, so see, this is how scatterbrained I am, because I can.
Absolutely.
No, that's not what I was going to say, but that's a good one. See, this is how scatterbrained I am. I can never remember. I have a thought, and it's just the thoughts just run away from me, and I can never reach out to them. So I always have to think about them. See, those thoughts for you are readily available, and you can just reference them in your brain. But I can't even touch them. Like it has to take. I had to take a minute to grab that thought.
It's all that weed, son. It's killing your brain cells, son. It's killing your brain cells. What movie is that from?
Motherfucker.
What movie is that from?
Repeat that.
It's killing your brain cells, son. It's killing your brain cells.
Okay, that is Morgan Freeman's Stand By Me. You smoke crack, don't you?
You smoke crack, don't you? Fat kid. He should have pushed his ass off that roof with his awful acid wash jeans. He deserved the fucking. He said, you know what? I was going to let you go. I was going to let you go back to school, but them fucking jeans, that ugly ass hat, boy, get the fuck out of here.
That movie is an example of kind of what you're talking about. I mean, that movie is an example of somebody. I don't know what that was. what that was. It's an example of somebody who has power and who at some point abused their power.
Clark, how did he do it? By chaining the doors
down? By chaining the doors down.
That wasn't really. That wasn't abuse,
but listen, there's a number of other things that he did. He abused his staff. He forced one lady to quit.
To blow him, right? The part where she sucked his dick in the bathroom. He was like, you better suck that dick, bro.
You smoke crack, don't you? Smoke my dick.
Smoke that dick.
Smoke my dick. Now. So he forced so many people against their will because he believed that it was his way or the highway. It wasn't about discipline anymore. It was about him. So he went drunk with his own power until, you know, towards the end of the movie, he figured out that there was a middle ground to it, and he learned how to work with people. And
I never thought about it that way. To be completely honest, I've seen that movie like 10 times in my life.
Really? You never saw it that way? Dude, there was...
I didn't. I just thought they couldn't handle his intensity.
No, it wasn't that at all. I mean, I mentioned this scene before, and to me, I think it's one of the best scenes that I've ever seen in just movies, period, is the
guy flips the desk.
No. What does he tell him? He says, hey, you better give me the respect that you will goddamn well want yourself, or I will beat your black ass. Something like that.
He gets mad. That dude is like, he's like a running back, right? He's like a little squat, strong dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
The scene where he's speaking to the guy who hired him, which is one of his good friends. I can't remember his name either because I'm fucking scatterbrained. So it's the scene where they're speaking privately in a courtroom, and Morgan Freeman is basically, he's telling Morgan Freeman that what he's doing isn't right, and Morgan Freeman says, "Hey, you hired me. You knew exactly what I would do." And he's like, "Dude, shut the fuck up. Like, I got your back in any scenario in life. Like, I'll go through the fire with you, but you're alienating everyone." And it was the truth. He was alienating everyone because Because like I said, it wasn't about discipline anymore. It was just about, do as I say. And, maybe him taking out whatever anger he had in his own personal life and he was just projecting it onto his work. But if you see that scene, you'll understand that it definitely wasn't that people couldn't handle how intense he was. It wasn't about that. It definitely wasn't. That's the talk. That's the talk that if Walter White had a good friend, that person would have stopped Walter White from becoming Heisenberg, because that's the sort of talk that stops someone at the tracks when they're about to turn into a fucking, a tyrant.
God fucking yeah, you're right. I never, like I said, never thought about that shit that way. I always thought like this guy is right about everything.
Wow, even at the beginning, everything? Really?
That's
honestly, how you would run a school.
I don't know why. I always just felt like, yeah, those asshole kids. Yeah, teach them. I was like, and the staff too. I was like, he's a little harsh on them, but you know what? They were too relaxed before.
Yeah.
I mean, which is true, but
there's some truth in that. Yeah.
But that scene where he skips rope with those little girls. I just thought, this guy, there's nothing wrong with him. Like he's using his power to the best of his ability. Yeah. What a nice fella. You guys get the class now.
Speaking of Morgan Freeman, man, I think people remember a couple years back when Morgan Freeman was asked about Black History Month.
Yeah.
And he made the comments that he thinks that Black History Month is ridiculous. He doesn't want to be referred to as a black man. That's how we stop race from really becoming a problem, is that we should just stop acknowledging race all the time. And I'm reminded of that because just today there's a big stupid uproar about Raven-Symoné, who you remember is the bitch with the big tits on That's So Raven.
She had big
beautiful breasts.
Fuck, what is the word for being able to see into the future? What is that called? There's a word for
clairvoyant.
I think that's it.
It is it. It's you don't think. Hold up, let's see.
Well, why are you looking it up then? If you
because you're making me doubt myself because you don't believe that I know. A person that claims to have a supernatural ability to perceive events in the future. Bam, your own.
See, you pulled that shit out of your head. You did it.
Yeah, that's because I'm a certain type of scatterbrained person. That's why. And by the way, I like the fact that the definition says a person who claims to have.
Yeah, you're like
this crazy motherfucker over here thinks he can see the future. That's why.
I want to do one thing before we get into this That's So Raven thing, okay? And you guys at home, you can follow this along with me. This is one of my favorite games. I played this on Twitter the other day. I'm sending a link to D.respect right now. Okay. We are both going to click this link at the same time, all right? It's the power listing Wikipedia page. This shit has a list of so many fucking powers, all right? You click this link, and this link is your power, all right?
Okay, hold on.
You never get to change it.
When do you want me to go to it?
Yeah, you click that link. Me and D.respect are going to battle. We're going to see who's superior by clicking this link, and we're both going to battle each other.
We're literally going to we have to hit the link at the same time.
No, we don't. I mean, it's just,
okay. Well, you said it the same. God, come on, say what you mean.
Look, and anyway, you guys in the comments, you click your click that link too, and see if you can beat me in a fight.
Okay, let's see. Hold on. Well, if it was a fight with fucking bandwidth, I think you'd have me beat. Hold on.
Yuck.
Okay, so right here I'm seeing what am I looking at? The power to resurrect with a random power.
What?
A combination of self-resurrection and power randomization.
What is the power called?
Resurrection roulette.
What does that mean?
Capabilities. The user can resurrect after death and come back with a random power. So I just fucking decide. I'm just okay. So now I have this thing.
That is insane, dude.
The powers gained may be associated in the same way to their death, such as gaining electricity and manipulation if electrocuted. Whatever.
That is. So if you kill D.respect in a fight, he's gonna come back with your powers.
Yeah.
Terrible. Plus you can't die.
What's yours?
Umbra kinetic whip generation. The power to create whips from darkness /shadow.
Oh, you puny bean you.
The guy from The Darkness, if you guys are familiar with that comic, has this power. You make like shadow whips or something. Lame.
This is if this was an episode of Dragon Ball Z, I would be guffawing for like half an hour just staring at you.
Fuck this. All right, now everyone in the comments, you can beat me. Fuck you. Unless you can't beat me, in which case I'll make fun of you. Anyway, Raven-Symoné.
Mm-hmm.
Clairvoyant.
Big tits. Pair of double D's.
Yes.
So she was
lost
on
a lot of weight.
yes, she did. So yeah, I looked up a photo of her recently, and the boobs, they're not there anymore. They're gone. So
yeah, they are.
Not as much as they were back then. Not as much. She wasn't retaining as much water. She's not retaining as much water as she used to be, and I gotta say she doesn't look as good. But she had an interview with Oprah Winfrey, and long story short, she said she doesn't want to be labeled as gay, which some of you may know that she is a lesbian.
When did this come out?
This came out, I believe, when I don't remember what state was it that made same-sex marriages legal. Whenever one of those states made it legal, she tweeted, "Oh, great! Now I can get married. Thank you, U.S. government," or something like that. So then that was basically her coming out. So now she's like, I'm tired of labels. I don't want to be called gay, and I don't want to be called an African American. Let me finish the quote because for me this is the biggest part. She says, "I don't want to be labeled an African American. I'm an American." Which to me, I think I'd like to believe that if she wanted to restructure that sentence, I think she chose to say, "I don't want to be labeled as an African. I'm just an American." Not another division of, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think, I want to believe that that's what she was trying to say. I'm not a certain, a part of it. I just am a part. I am the country. I'm not just a part of the country. But go ahead.
You just confused the shit out of me. But
that's what I can do with my power, son. The power of confusion.
I was gonna make a joke. I fucking bombed. Anyway,
whip me.
I understood the gay part. Like, all right, you don't want to be labeled for your sexual orientation. And I sort of get the ethnicity part, because like I think it's really corny to be called African American. I don't like it. I'd rather be called black. But then again, she's saying she doesn't even want to be called black though. So I'm only like half in there with her. Like, people are gonna. I think the idea of not having labels at all is kind of a pipe dream, man. That's not how humans work. I'm saying, like, to our core, I think we just take away like racism, homophobia, all that stuff away, like non-judging. You look at someone and then you classify them. It's like, this is a man or a woman. This person could harm me, or I could I'm stronger than them. They're stronger than me. You look at their clothes, put them in a box, you label them. That's just how we do things, right? It's like how you assess a problem or any situation. I don't think you can be rid of that, like, ever.
You think this is a class thing? You think it's because we're dealing with a girl who's been under the spotlight since she was a kid.
Absolutely.
She's got a lot of money, and now she thinks she's above it all.
No, I mean, yes, but I don't think that's something that's exclusive to that position. I think there are people who are middle class and lower, sort of. What is under middle class?
Homeless.
No, come on. What is under middle class?
Lower middle class.
No, but
there's the lower, and then there's the middle, upper. Fucking no. There's an actual name.
You say lower class? That sounds horrible. Lower class? It's not a thing, right?
Hey, look. In Raven-Symoné's life, it's terrible to even classify anything as anything. Everything just is, Dom. It just is.
You know what you bring up? You bring up a good point. She has that luxury, doesn't she? Mm-hmm. To be able to say, like, I don't, like, yeah, like don't label me at all. Like, don't, like I just want to be this. It does have that air about it. Even if like a regular middle class person would say that, it does, when she says it, it does have that air about it. It sounds to me kind of like, it reminds you, Jaden Smith, by the way, awesome on Twitter. This guy is hilarious. Fucking hilarious. But he does the same thing where he talks about how school is bad.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you fucking, like, you really think you just solved all of our problems by saying that kids shouldn't go to school anymore and that they lie to you?
It's the source.
It's from this.
It's the source that's being considered when he makes those comments. It's the source. They wouldn't get nearly as mocked if they were coming from you or or an adult, but it's the source. It's like, it's bad enough that you're a kid, but you're a privileged kid as well, you know? And, you know, not even to say that just because you're a kid, you don't have any real ideas, but there's something about, let me tell you something. When I was 17, when I was 20, I can't remember, looking back at my life, I can't remember any profound thoughts that I had. And now that I look back at my life, honestly, I'm happy that I never did make any profound statements or get attached to anything in my life, because I think that there's a large part of the first part of your life that you're just supposed to shut the fuck up and listen. Just shut up and listen.
You didn't think you knew everything for a while? You didn't go through that phase? You did.
The phase that I went through that everyone goes through is, you know, you resent your parents. You're upset at your parents for whatever reason, and you think you're smarter than they are. That's what I thought I knew more than. I thought I knew more than my parents. It was never a grand world scale thing, because when I was younger, I didn't ever I didn't take any interest in watching the news. I didn't take any interest in really observing school. I just knew that there was something deep down inside that I really didn't like about it. And maybe it was masked by laziness, but there was something more to it than that. But what I'm saying is that you just need to shut the fuck up and listen sometimes when you're as young as, you know, as Jaden Smith. You just need to.
This reminds me of, I listen to so many comedians talk on podcasts, and one thing they talk about is there's this thing happening, and maybe it's been happening for a long time, but in the comedy world, you're at your prime when you're like in your early mid-20s. Like, they want attractive young people to do comedy specials, all that sort of stuff. The weird thing is, like, you get guys who are like 20 or 21 year olds, but they were kind of comedy prodigies. Like, they just come out swinging, like heavy hitting, getting laughs, crafting good jokes and all that sort of stuff. The problem with that is that I've heard from a lot of comedians who are like, and I'd say the median age of comedians I listen to on podcasts are probably like 30 and older. Like, at least 30. But they'll talk about these kids like, dude, I've been doing comedy for 10 years. This kid started 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's on SNL. And this is a real thing, by the way. Mm-hmm. But, like...
And that whole Comedy Central circuit. I notice what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but it's like the older comedians will complain, like, dude, I never fucking got my big break. I never got shit, and I'm just begging and just, like scrounging around to do, like, shitty dates in like Nebraska somewhere, and this kid who like hasn't really experienced anything is just talking about like weed jokes or like, oh yeah, I fucked the other day. But it's like, have they ever experienced anything? Like what it's like, Joe Rogan will talk about this too. It's like, when he says, like, when he started comedy, he didn't really, like, it's like he hadn't even been through like a proper relationship. Like, it's like he hadn't even been paying bills that long. You know what I mean? So it's like, where... It's like he hadn't experienced enough even to make statements. Like, the comedians get really good. I mean, like, look at great guys like Pryor, Carlin, all of them. Like Louis C.K., all, like, they're older. Like, they've lived a long time. They can look back and say and talk about all the shit that they've gone through, like divorces and having kids, right? Mm-hmm. So a kid like Jaden Smith, it's like they make all these grandiose statements, but it is really hard to take him seriously because it's just like a kid who's 17 and says they're in love with their girlfriend and they're going to get married or something. like really, like you're just a kid. You're a novice.
Which it can be possible. It can be possible.
Yeah, but that's
be in love,
really,
but one
really
thing
tough.
that you need, but one thing that probably that you don't know when you're 19, when you're 20, is that you're forgetting one huge thing about life, which you need, and that's contrast. You need to be able to compare something to another thing in order to find out what they both mean, because you don't know what the fuck you know. If you're living on the side of the world where everything is always chaotic and there's fucking wars and fucking rebellions going on all around you, it's very hard for you to understand what fucking love is. You know what I'm saying? Because all you're seeing is fucking war. All you're seeing is fucking hate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you need contrast. If you're with a person when you're like 17, then it's pretty hard to say for sure that this is the person I want to spend my life with. Really, you haven't compared this person to another. I just mean another human being. You haven't committed yourself to another human. Now, of course, not every human being in the world. That's not what I mean. I don't mean to fuck women for like 20 years and then that's when you'll actually know, but just go through some experiences. And I mean, we went off to Jaden Smith, but I mean, really we were on on Raven-Symoné. You always seem to bring up Jaden Smith. You have this hatred against this young man.
It's not a hatred. I'm very amused by him. Let's say that.
Very
Plus his sister looks just like him and it's weird. They have the same face, the same body, dude. They both like long neck giraffe kids.
Look,
weird.
If Raven, it sounds like also what she was saying, and I thought this is what she was getting at. I thought she was getting, and I wonder how people would have taken this. If she would have said something like, "I'm tired of labels. I want people to stop identifying me as an African American, as a gay person, or just as a person." Because I thought she was gonna go off into some fucking like I'm a luminous, like Yoda.
Too much. Yeah.
Luminous beings are weak.
Oprah's like, really? Go on. Yeah.
Not this crude matter. Like, I thought she was gonna go off into some shit like that. Like, that would have been way too abstract for
I
television.
am not this flesh vehicle that you see in front of me. I am not this. This is not who I am. Okay, the self is just an illusion. Just like Sam Harris said in that one Big Think video.
Yeah, because that's where I learned it. So we get that. We understand that there's two levels. You know what I'm saying? There's two levels that we operate on, which is just like the concrete level, and then there's the abstract level.
You don't want to be there too long. Like, you can be there, but when you stay there too long, like weird shit happens. You can't communicate with people properly.
Yeah,
you're too zoned in. Too much of that.
You can't. Is there anyone in pop culture that always operated on that level? Who? There's got to be somebody out there who's
all these Who is that philosopher you told me to listen to like a million times?
Alan Watts.
He's not in pop culture, right?
The internet is sort of intertwining him into it. I think.
You know who I would say is on that level or was on that level all the time was Hunter S. Thompson.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on outside, mate? Do you hear that?
I kind of heard something in the back.
Sound like someone getting fucked at a tennis court. Anyway, I don't know why the tennis court had to be.
God,
it was. I could have just stopped at fucking, but it had to be the tennis court. But
okay, well, give the viewers some context here.
Hunter S. Thompson, writer, popular writer from, I don't know, mid to late 1900s, 70s. Why? Anyway,
1900s.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I think was his famous book. It was also adapted into a movie with Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro, where he's like riding through the Mojave Desert, and they're just loaded on all sorts of drugs. They have a suitcase full of drugs, and he's like, and the way he wrote and the way he talked, it's like riding through the desert and the thinking about the dreams lost in this country of this country of impurity and slavery and madness. Like very poetic, but like kind of insane. Always like, but like you were saying, he operated heavily, I think, on that level. But the dude, like he was on drugs all his life, like doing coke like 20 times a day or something. Probably not 20. Just doing a lot of drugs and drinking constantly. Always in that level. He ended up killing himself.
He did?
Yeah, dude. He killed himself.
Shot himself?
Yeah, he was
okay.
like, and read his suicide note at some point. It's weird. It's like, I'm not having any fun. I'm too old. Like this is just kind of, it's not funny anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say he operated on that level.
He operated on that. I mean, I would think like of a musician. I mean, was Kurt Cobain on that level?
Probably. But he was so fucking depressed, man. I don't know if it was on that level or just like he just had a lot of like mental illness issues, and that maybe could have been solved if he was on more meds or something.
But okay, somebody who's definitely on that level always. So this person would be a good example. I mean, if Raven-Symoné was to say something like, say, Gary Busey would say in his everyday life. Because Gary Busey, I believe, after what, a motorcycle accident?
Yeah, he got hit in the head really hard.
He got in the head. And
D.respect.
No, that's Matthew McConaughey. That's Matthew McConaughey.
No, that was Busey.
Okay, get to Busey. Let's see.
See, D.respect.
I gotta get some water in my mouth for this.
D.respect. D.respect.
Okay.
The R stands for.
There you go.
The R stands for revolution. The E is electric.
Right.
The S, snake. All right, you're a snaky human being. You're powerful, which is the P, and the rest of them you already know.
Right. These are what he refers to as Buseyisms, right?
Yeah, he does his shitty acronyms. He just makes shit up.
And he calls them Buseyisms as if he fucking he invented the idea of an acronym.
Yeah, he's nuts.
But it's a talent because Busey can say it off the top of his head. Like you give him a word like important, he'll be like important, intelligent, blah, blah, blah. Like he'll just go off. But he's a person who I think is always operating on that, on that abstract level. I mean, look. We all know, I mean, you guys out there would know more than I would because I'm not a fan. I mean, we could remember that famous interview with MC Ride, for example, where MC Ride's talking about, I'm like never on surface level. Like, I'm just like, I mean, what was it exactly that he said?
I remember him saying that they just wanted to move forward and not like parallel.
Well, he was saying, I don't identify with the human race. I'm not inspired by the human race.
Yeah, he was like, I look inward. It's like all my inspiration comes from within. Like I don't look to outside sources for what I should be doing or how I should feel. Mm-hmm. It's like I just, I think do whatever feels good. I think
he's a person that his thoughts would align with Raven-Symoné's because there was another thing that he said. And I like the way he said it because it sounded so poetic. Because he said, "Then whatever I do when I go up there is what I do when I go up there." Like what he does on stage. Like he didn't even say when I perform.
He's like,
when I play,
this is something.
It's just what I do, and I guess maybe it's up to you to label it. Whatever it is that I do. But whatever I do when I'm up there is what I do when I'm up there.
Well, in that case, now you got me thinking of crazy performers like Flaming Lips, like George Clinton, like Janelle Monáe, all these people. You know what's interesting about Janelle Monáe is like she makes popular music, really catchy stuff. But if you listen to her interviews and like her little manifestos, like she's pretty out there, man. Talking about like loving androids and robots, and she says things like Raven-Symoné, like how she doesn't want to be labeled, and like there's so much like sci-fi robotic imagery in her music too. It's like kind of strange.
Really, Janelle Monáe? I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, dude. She talks about androids a lot and sci-fi shit. It's kind of cool. Plus, she's pretty.
Plus, yeah, she is. She's cute. Oh, dominant black girls. Oh, I'm switching it up. Huh?
Shut up. Yeah, tweet that, guys. Dumb as black girls.
Dumb and his white guys. Don't forget. Don't.
Dumb
He's
and his white
he's trying to
guys.
change this. He's trying to spin this. He's good. He's good at spinning. That guy. He's good. He's good. But is this just a sign of the times, or was everybody always this weird, or are we finding out that everyone is weird because we've just got so much information everywhere?
That's it right there. People have always been really weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And listening to all these podcasts, these uncensored shows, I think is making us closer to that. I'm trying to stay away from future talk, but it's going to get there really soon.
Let's get into it.
I still imagine a world where everyone is streaming content constantly. It's like your show is just your life, and I can tap into D.respect show at any time, and it might be you sleeping, it could be you eating a baguette. I don't know why you'd be eating a baguette, but it could be anything. But it's like at any point you look in your upper left and you see, 900 viewers watching me. Okay, well let me talk about the sandwich that I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
People would,
until we eventually get to what? Because to me, that leads to insanity.
How so?
It leads to insanity because it's like it's like an eye looking at itself. You know?
Ooh.
You know, it's like an eye looking at itself.
Look, there will be some kind of checks and balances in the sense that, like, there's still going to be boring people. Like, some guy who... There's going to be a lot of boring people, actually. The majority of people won't have interesting feeds. Though there will be people who do insane things, like try and kill their parents to get on their feeds, get more views and all that stuff. But that's not going to be... There's going to be a very tiny minority. There's also going to be a minority of people like Beyonce or something where you're always going to want it.
But you can't have somebody doing something that extreme because, I mean, whatever mediums... I mean, like, say, like, the medium like Google... YouTube, which is owned by Google, which is, by now, though it's a big, sexy new thing, it's a fucking corporation. And if it's not a corporation now, it's gonna fucking be a corporation in like 30 years. And I'm pretty sure they can filter all that fucking nutty stuff, all that,
you're right.
That mad stuff out. So everything will pretty much still be pretty PG.
But you're right, it is going to be pretty insane. And I don't know how we're going to... we'll figure it out, but this is already nuts what we're doing. We're already in the insane mode. It's crazy, this shit.
Well, we're in the insane mode because, we're doing what we're doing. Yeah.
How connected we are. And how you could just like instantly like transmit your thoughts across these wires. It's already crazy, man. Mm-hmm. We're just gonna take it further. You know what I'm saying?
What's further?
Like I said, streaming everything constantly, and you just adding. I mean, what I think about is, I tend to think in extremes, but the ultimate form of communication, I always say, is one where I understand exactly what you're thinking, why you said it, the whole context, including all the history of whatever's going on in your brain, so I could really understand 100% what you were thinking.
So we get to the point where everybody's basically Xavier.
I think that's like some ultra like
we're all sitting in rooms with fucking pulsating brains, and we're just sitting in there just. Hibernating.
I don't think we would have brains at that point. I think we would just be like data, like trying to accomplish goals. And it's like, do we all agree that we're gonna mine Mars for this mineral? Yep. Okay. Well, we're doing that, and everyone just all this data just sends out robots and shit.
Here's the thing.
I have no basis for this stuff.
No.
Of course, I'm fucking talking out my ass. I don't know.
But no, this is a thought that I had with something that you said. It was very optimistic of all of us, because I'm sure that this is a thought that, people always express, and how we thought, the 2000s were going to be, and we were going to have floating cars. It was very optimistic of us. We had no evidence whatsoever that we were moving at such a exponential rate. I don't know where we came to this because we saw a Game Boy and then, whoa, what are they going to think of next? It's like, where did that thought come from? Was it just people saying that, okay, if we're just alive long enough, we're going to see something like a car levitating? But there was no evidence to think. I mean, what you're saying isn't crazy because we have evidence of the crazy shit happening now. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like that. You never had that before.
As long as we have imaginations, this stuff has been crazy. Like Gene Roddenberry making Star Trek stuff.
What was that, Jason Silva?
Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
That stuff, like back in the 60s, the idea of like some hyper intelligent being who can like pinch your neck and make you pass out. Even the idea of a tricorder, this item that you
but this is a creative person. This is a creative.
Yeah, but that's in everybody though. Everyone has that a little bit because you know why? Because like a person who's not creative can watch Star Trek and suspend their disbelief enough that they're in that universe and they're just tapping into the weirdness that they're putting out there. You know what else? You can get a kid who's like 4 years old and put him in a movie theater and make them watch a movie, and they're tapped into it, and I don't know if a 4-year-old would understand that it's not reality, but you do what I mean. It seems so natural for humans to just make shit up.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think that's where it comes from. All this nutso stuff.
As soon as you thought it was going to be the year 2000, you thought you would have a robot that would come inside your bedroom and wipe your ass.
Why would I be shit in my bedroom, though?
Because you can do it, that's why. Because it's all to get to the point that we all were like in WALL-E, where we were just like these fucking fat people just sitting on chairs, just eating and being levitated everywhere. We didn't walk anymore.
What I don't agree with that, because at that point, if we have levitation technology, we would have something where it's like you just craft your ultimate body. You take 2 pills every morning, and then you all of a sudden you look like Idris Elba or whoever you want to look like.
Yeah, that's coming from the guy who's still walking around. But in 80 years, when somebody's born into levitation, they're not going to develop the type of technology to make themselves a stronger half of their body. That's coming from a person who's still.
Oh, you're saying he's that ideal person is walking. It's a walking body.
That thought that you just said is coming from you because you're a person that you have.
In this time.
Yeah, you have to get yourself everywhere, so that's why you would think. I'm thinking outside of being a person that walks everywhere, and just thinking about like fucking 80 years from now when.
What if a hot person is like it's hot if you're fat?
Oh, of course that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Look, hey, we need only just look into hip hop culture, so you can foresee the type of things that will be accepted, just as long as the group is okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
I've wanted so badly. If I was rich, I would love to just perform these experiments where I somehow convince like 10% of popular hip-hop artists to start wearing trash bags. I just want to see how long it would take for kids to start wearing them.
It wouldn't take that long. It would just have to
trash bags.
Just have to be the right artist. It would have to be the right artist.
Who would have to wear trash bags?
Oh, Kanye. Kanye wears it, and that's it. No question about it. No question about it. But
I'm wearing trash bags, son.
The one thing that I will see, and I will predict this. I will predict this. You ready for this prediction?
Future talk.
People will start walking around with Zach Morris phones within the next 2-3 years. There's going to be one rapper that's going to make a video. And
young nigga, move that dope. Future did that in that video. He had a Zach Morris phone.
Oh, he had a Zach Morris phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you didn't know this?
No. Why would I ever watch a Future video?
That song is catchy, even though I hate it.
Which song is this?
Move that dope.
Nope. Sorry. Oh, move that dope. Move that dope.
Move that.
I only heard 3 Future songs, and that's what.
It has a.
I've only
awesome
heard Stoner. Oh no! Wait a minute. That's Young. That's Young Thug. Look, I don't even.
Young Thug. I listened to a Young Thug.
I confuse all these guys.
I flipped my computer off the desk. Sorry.
When you listen to him,
it's so bad.
Danny Glover. I was gonna say I've heard of Young Thug, but there hasn't been much after that. But Future, forget about it. Just a couple collaborations here and there, but Wouldn't even look into it.
Kanye, if you wore trash bags, people would do it.
If Kanye wore a trash bag, yes, because you know why? Because when Kanye, about in 2006, when Kanye started...
the polos, yeah.
You mean the big, with the deep necks and everything? The saggy polos? No, not polo. Sorry, no. When Kanye started dressing as if he was a fucking pharaoh. You know, when he was wearing tight pants with big black
middles,
baggy blouses. I'm seeing kids walking like that all over New York City now. Yes, you see kids that wear tight, say, leatherish pants, and they have these big baggy shirts over them, and it's that same sort of look. It just takes people, you know, you've always got to give people a good amount of years so they can catch on. Of course, it's always going to take that one brave person in the neighborhood to be the trendsetter. So then everyone else, it just trickles down. But it normally takes about 3, 4, 5 years. Because like I said, Kanye was doing this, I believe, back in, not in 06. Kanye was doing this. This wasn't 808 and Heartbreaks Kanye. This was, I think this was round Watch the Throne. Round Watch the Throne. But I'm seeing it now. Seeing it now with people.
People are going to probably be cutting arrows into their hair too.
Arrows into their hair?
Yeah, that's his new thing. It's like directional arrows shaved into his head.
Oh, that's right. I thought you literally meant he's doing like a Halloween thing where he's got like one end of the stick and the other end on both sides of his head.
Killing yourself is cool.
Do it. I went to Nike.
He was tweeting about Hedy Slimane and all this shit the other day, some fashion stuff. Like, what the hell, man?
Who gives a shit what Kanye has to do?
Why don't you go bang your wife or something?
Listen, if it has nothing to do with the music, I'm not concerned. When it comes to him, I'm not concerned. If it's not about the music, then I don't care.
You know what I do care about, though?
What do you care about?
Littlefield this Thursday, October 9th. D.respect said we weren't going to talk about it again, but I'm talking about it. Come out.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to go up to New York, hang out.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to do a show up there.
So
maybe two.
You're getting to the city on what day?
Thursday. You know, actually, I'm going to be there at 9, 10, 11. Well, let me round up 10, 11, 12, 1. Around 1, 2.
Round 1? Okay.
Yeah, so I'll swing around Manhattan a little bit.
Be out there slanging dick?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Okay.
See what I can do.
Okay.
I fail miserably.
So you've got this thing in your head about getting out of the life. No, just joking. Let me know what that reference is from, guys. So you've got this feeling that you want to walk up to a young lady and engage her and somehow fuck her in between the window of Thursday and Sunday.
Yes.
Not gonna happen.
Look, I've been able to do crazy things in the past.
No,
all right.
It will not.
I know that I'm capable of certain things.
Okay.
It's not that crazy. All right. It's probably not going to happen, though. So if you don't hear me say anything about it, then
that means you failed.
Look, hey, dumb. So shut up.
Well, if you're going to be in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken, Littlefield isn't far from the Barclays Center. I've been around that area before.
That's where Jay-Z lives?
That's where Jay-Z sleeps every night. That's where Jay-Z's at right now.
Yo, take me home. I'm going to sleep on the bleachers.
Bleachers. There was no R in there. It was just like bleachers.
Sleep on the bleachers over there. Young.
It's not far from the Barclays Center. I've been around that area before, and there are some attractive white women in that area, man. They are.
Look, once again, look at you, assuming.
I assume, brother.
You assume. Because you assume I want white girl. You assume D.respect.
It would be cool if you, since you're coming early, you find the young lady and you tell her, hey, you want to go with me to this spot over here, mingle with some people, blah, 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 blah.
Do you know who Anthony Fantano?
Yeah, I know Anthony Fantano.
Yeah, why don't you come to Littlefield? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It'll totally work out for you.
That would be so fucking cool.
You're anticipating doing what in New York City?
I want to do at least a one ink drawing and one painting of the city every day. Other than that, walking around, eating. I love the museums out there, so I'll probably go to a few of those. And that's about it. I'll probably take up most of my day.
I've never seen you draw an impoverished area. I've never seen you draw that. I've never seen you draw a shitty area.
I don't want to go. I could draw it, but I couldn't record. I wouldn't want to sit there with a fucking camera. That's drawing too much attention to myself.
Well, when I mean impoverished, I don't mean the Gaza Strip. You mean a common area, just a regular New York area or regular DC area. Are the areas in DC that hardcore that you won't even step foot?
No, but I mean, like, I just don't. It's like there's certain places where I know no one's gonna mention shit to me for having this really nice camera on my chest while I'm drawing. So I mean, it's like if I did draw a place like that, I wouldn't be recording it. So I would just get the drawing, but not the recording. How do I get both?
I don't know. You're assuming a lot of things about the neighborhood. I mean,
I really am.
Yeah, you're assuming a lot of things about. I mean, also the time of day is always key.
Yeah. What kind of place would you want to see me draw then?
I don't know, man. Just a common area.
What do you mean, like a McDonald's?
No, a common area, because everything that I've seen you.
Oh, it's like landmarks.
Yeah, basically, yeah, landmarks and stuff like that. Yeah. Just.
No. I did it. I did it today on Inktober. It was a cafe. Boring as shit.
But that's it. But that's a place of business. That's a place of business.
You want to see me draw a boring ass house where someone lives?
Maybe.
That's what you really?
Maybe. I don't know. Just something different. I mean, if you go to the MoMA, you're gonna basically see the same stuff that you see at a museum in DC. I mean, really. Okay. Aesthetically, you're gonna see you're basically gonna.
Wait, drawing in the metro is very common though. You have to give me that.
Well, that's true. Okay.
Ultra common.
Okay.
But
I wanted to ask you a question. When you're drawing someone, and this is coming from, of course, somebody who can't draw shit. When you're drawing somebody, at what point do you picture them in your head? Because these are people that are moving around when you're interviewing someone. How do you get that still image in your head, without having to tell that person, hey, don't move? And obviously you don't tell them to not move.
I don't. The thing, I've drawn so much in my life that you develop templates. Like, if you told me to draw you, I could do a decent likeness without any information in front of me, right? Mm-hmm. But that's like, let's say that's, I'll be generous with myself and say that's a 60% likeness to you. Whereas if you were sitting in front of me, I could get maybe 90% likeness. Like, I show it to your mom and she's like, wow, that's him.
Okay.
Right? So that's 60% I can get, probably 50% from my head. So the rest I need to fill in is like 40. You know what? Actually, let me change that number around. I can get 40% from my head. The rest of it would be from you sitting in front of me. But that 40% is enough. Like on the Metro, I'm getting half of the percentage that I would get if someone was sitting in front of me and knew that I was drawing them. So I'm only getting like glimpses. Like, I look and I get 3 seconds. I look at them for 3 seconds and I add that to the template that I have of a random person. I know what a dude's face looks like. I've drawn it so much that I could draw a generic dude's face and you're gonna know it's a face. Mm-hmm. All I have to do is dial in details. Like, how wide is the face? Oh, it's this wide. Okay. I'll just add a little bit to here. How wide is his nose? Boom, right there.
So we're here with Raven-Symoné. Raven, how are you?
Well, I specifically asked you not to refer to me as me. I'm sorry, but
I'm sorry, I didn't see that in the notes.
this one is fine for now.
Okay, we're back, everyone. We're here with this one. How are you, this one?
This one is at 1.
At 1.
Yes.
Well, you look good. You recently lost weight. And
Many thanks.
and on Twitter, you sort of came out of the closet, so I think it's officially you're gay now, right?
I am not. This one is not gay. This one is what this one wishes. This one loves. This one is an embodiment of love.
Well, pump the bricks. If I told you that my daughter was 14 years old, right? She is.
Yes.
And
yes.
if I told you that she likes to occasionally lick vaginas, the female kind, you would say she is fill in the blank. What would you say?
This one would say that your daughter is simply a lover of what is lovely in the universe. Okay.
Well, that's one way to look at it. Raymond, sorry, this one. You're Raymond. Raymond. See, she's transcended what she is, and now she's a man.
This one is not an actor in a shitty show on YouTube.